Hello everyone, Rachel from Queen Speech here. You are joining me for my first Tea and Tips with the Queen. I will be live on Periscope every other Tuesday night at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, my name is Rachel for those of you who are just joining us. I am Rachel of Queen Speech, and this is my show, Tea and Tips with the Queen. Today's topic, let me get to it, is difficult conversations, how to deal when things get fierce. So I am sure some of you have had this topic to deal with at work. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to deal with difficult conversations. All right, we'll get to that later. All right, let me set up my tripod really quick. Can you all hear me okay? Can you give me some hearts or something, or let me know? I have a lapel mic on. And the last time I recorded it was a little loud. So since this is Tea and Tips with the Queen, I wanted to start out with telling you guys what tea I am drinking today. Here's one of my grandma's cups. You can't really see, it's too full. I am drinking coconut cream tea today, and I also have a little bit of cheesecake off camera because if I have to work, I deserve a treat, right? Okay, so dealing with difficult conversations. The reason I brought this topic up today was because, I know, doesn't it sound delicious? I am applying for a job in administration and I have an interview tomorrow. So I'm sure they're going to be asking me how I deal with difficult conversations at work. And I feel like we don't really think about how we deal with them. We just do it, and we're either good at it or we're not so good at it. So I wanted to give you 5 good tips and some other ideas. Oh, I just turned off my computer too. All right, so the first tip is do your homework. Let me turn on my computer, need to prepare for these difficult conversations. These are usually things that don't just come up out of the blue. You don't find a conversation with a coworker and go, oh man, I didn't know that was going to be so hard. It happens sometimes with IEPs, but usually you have a feeling, I don't know about you, but I do. I have a feeling that it's going to be hard. So do your homework, be prepared, know where you're going to find conflicts with people, and try your best to figure it out before you get into the situation. Yeah, admin, it's hard, so I'm going to try. So the second thing to do with difficult conversations is try to manage your emotions. So we're all speech therapists, most of us are teachers, and we teach our students how to regulate emotions, but sometimes as adults we forget how to do this. So like when we teach our students with autism how to deal with their emotions using the zones of regulation or whatever you choose to use, you need to remember to regulate your own emotions. So if there's a continuum of these emotions, and you need to be able to read other people's emotions as well as your own so things don't get out of hand. So usually when you deal with a difficult conversation, it's not fun, and you start getting stressed, and you may be scared, you may be upset, and it's no good. So let me block a few people. So I want to show you, I don't know if you can see that. This is Pluchik's, I think I'm saying that right, Wheel of Emotion, and you can screenshot if you want to find this to show other people. And this is used to look at the different emotions. Thank you, Rock Chalk. There's a lot of people in here spamming today. So as you can see, like for an example, you start out annoyed, but then you start getting more angry, and then it turns into rage. So our job as speech therapists in, say, IEP meetings with teachers, you don't want to get them to hear. So our job is to notice the annoyance, watch for it turning into anger, and then hope that they don't get into rage. So this is sort of like the zones of regulation, but as you can see, it's much more complicated. There are 8 different, are there 8? I can't even count today. Yes, there are 8 different emotions on here. And again, we need to figure out where our patients, our students, our parents, other teachers, and ourselves are on this wheel. Again, here it is if you want to screenshot so you can show other people. Because I feel like this is the important part, is finding out when our parents are here or teachers are here with us, because you don't want to go any further. And if you can help it, that'll help everybody if we realize the emotions in ourselves. Over here. All right. So the first tip, again, do your homework. Second tip is to manage your emotions. Try not to get out of control and take a break if you need to. And then start by being direct. So this is the part that I have the hardest time with. Do any of you have a hard time being direct with other people? It may not seem like it, but I tend to be more of an introvert. It's taken me a long time to be comfortable being honest with people. And yes, it's so hard to bring up things that are uncomfortable. But the only way to make change is to deal with it. So my suggestion is be direct. Don't go into a conversation. Yeah, exactly. It's so hard, especially with teachers, people that you respect and you would hope respect you too, to go into a conversation where you're like, I don't really like what you did, or can we talk about this? So from what I've read, they recommend that you go into it directly, say, I want to meet with you today so we can discuss whatever topic it is, and don't skirt around and don't be like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, by the way, I really didn't like this about you, or we need to change this. Make sure that you set up a time and a place, kind of like an invitation. You don't want to stress the person out, but you also need to be direct. Otherwise, that wheel of emotion, they're going to be angry pretty quick if you all of a sudden bombard them. The fourth tip I have is a big one for us SLPs. Be okay with silence. Okay? It is hard to be silent, especially in a meeting. Oh my goodness, so many people to block today. All right, so be okay with silence. We are really great communicators, but sometimes we're too good at communicating and we need to be quiet. We have to actively listen to what the other person is saying, understand their point of view, and be okay with waiting. I think in the world of social media, it can be really difficult to wait. We get emails and our emotions get out of whack on that wheel, and then all of a sudden you want to react. And I've been guilty of this myself. It's been a hard lesson for me to learn, is when I get a difficult email, something that makes me upset, I respond right away and then I regret it. From what I've heard from my administrators is, 1, do not engage. If it's something that you know is trying to get you upset, don't engage. Just don't. Close it and leave it for a while. Be okay with waiting 24 hours to respond to an email or a phone call. If you got a voicemail, do not respond. I have so many times wish I had waited before responding. It can be really, really hard, but this is something I think we need to learn, is being okay with silence, waiting, and then responding responsibly and professionally, and not using all of our emotions, and making sure that we keep that in check. The other thing I have to say is that you want to end on a positive note. You don't want to leave. It's kind of like when people say, don't go to bed angry. We're all professionals. We want to work with these parents. It's not like we're never going to see them again. So after having these difficult conversations and working through it, you want to say, I'm really glad we had that conversation, and I hope that we can work through things in the future, and that, at each time it gets better. So another thing I have to recommend to you guys is this great book that my principal had us read. It's called Fierce Conversations. It is by Susan Scott, and I'll turn the camera around so you can take a screenshot of this one too. All right, here is the book. This is called Fierce Conversations, Achieving Success at Work and in Life, One Conversation at a Time. This is a great book. Honestly, I haven't read all of it, but it is, very good for reading if you're dealing with something difficult at work and you need some help. You can look in this book for some suggestions. Okay, I'm going to open the book really quick and read from the book. Just to give you an idea of what is included in here. Again, it's Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott. And common mistakes during one-on-one meetings with people. Doing most of the talking, not letting other people listen. taking the problem away from someone else. Like, I'll share my thoughts before we end our conversation, but right now let's explore yours is a better way to deal with it than just, oh, I want to only talk about me. Not inquiring about the other person's feelings. I think this is a big one in IEPs. We don't put ourselves in the parents' shoes, and we need to understand that they have feelings, and this is really important information. I feel like we kind of build up that wall where we don't think about their feelings, and we need to be careful that we're not being insensitive. Some more. Delivering unclear messages, unclear coaching, and unclear instructions. Again, in IEPs, we use lots of big words. We need to remember who we're talking to. Canceling a meeting. If any of you wanted to do this, especially when it's a hard IEP, I know I've wanted to, but don't cancel. You need to deal with it. Allow for interruptions and don't run out of time. Make sure you have time to discuss everything. And one more thing, yes, using layman terms, I agree with you. Do any of you else have tips? Make sure you comment down here with things that you've also found to be helpful in difficult conversations. Oh, the coworkers who are always right. Okay. I had to deal with a conversation like this recently. Good question. So the question was dealing with coworkers who are always right. This can be really difficult. I recently had to deal with one of these situations, and I mean, at some point you have to be respectful and listen to their side. I had a teacher question some assessment that I did, and I know I was right. You have to explain in a professional manner why you feel the way that you do and why you think your side is right. You also have to listen to their side, but sometimes you can't come up with a compromise, especially if it's within our scope of practice, right? We are the professional. We are the one making recommendations. And if it gets to the point where the teacher will not listen to you, then you might need an administrator to get involved and try to mediate, because they also suggest having a witness or a mediator at these kinds of meetings, because there are some people who can get emotional and do stick to their side of the story. So with one particular teacher, all I had to do for her was re-explain my assessment in different terms and in a different way. Because you sometimes need to make them think they are coming up with the ideas themselves. Yes, I totally understand. Yes, that's a great one too. You kind of sneak in the ideas here and there. But I re-explained this evaluation to a teacher. She thought it was invalid, what I did. So I went back through my report weeks afterwards. She was talking about me and all kinds of stuff, drama, but wouldn't come to me. And so I went to her and said, here's my report. Do you have any questions? Can I re-explain it so it makes more sense to you and why I'm making the recommendation that I am? So yes, kind of make it seem like you're trying to help or that you're trying to make it their idea. But there are some teachers that you just don't see eye to eye no matter what you do. And that's when it's hard. This book is great, though. One thing to end with before I take questions is that this is talking about real conversations and why they're important, and that being real is not the risk. The real risk is that I will be known, I will be seen, and I will be changed. So dealing with these difficult conversations and being honest with how you feel and your coworkers and what you want, same with parents, is that you're going to be known, people are going to see you, and things are going to change, which is the part that I like about this. I don't mind, so the being seen and being heard is, can be scary, but the change is why we do it. We have to go through the difficult stuff for things to change. So, thanks for joining me. Again, let me review really quick what my 5 tips were before I ask. Any of you have questions, go ahead and ask them down below. So again, do your homework, manage your emotions, start by being direct, be okay with silence, and try to end on a positive note. And remember that you're going to deal with difficult conversations all the time. Passive aggressive. That is hard. Yes, okay, so the book that I showed you again, dealing with passive-aggressive people is difficult for me. Again, don't engage. try to wait a while, think about what to say, and then be honest. I had a person call me 2 weeks ago about something, and she asked me outright, did I offend you? And normal me would say, no, not really. But I told her, I said, no, I'm not offended, but what you did was not very nice. And she went, oh. So sometimes you do need to be honest, because what people do aren't wrong and they won't learn from it and nothing will change. But yeah, passive aggressive people are hard. So the book, really quick before I go, this does have examples of conversations that you have in it, and it asks you questions as to what you would do in the conversation. And there's little questions, I don't know if you can see on the side, that help you think of things to do, and give you some tips. There's a lot of different information in here. Let silence do the heavy lifting. So here it is talking about silence being important. I really honestly need to read through the book myself some more. I've read through the first chapter a few times. There is a part in the back that I had bookmarked, and then my bookmark fell out on the way up the stairs. So I'm sorry. Bottom line, this is another good quote from this. It says, what is real, what is honest, what is quality, and what has value. So again, think about what you're saying and why it's important. There's a lot. Oh, here's a good one. Preparing an issue for discussion. So it gives you different ways to brainstorm how to prepare, doing your homework before you have these types of meetings or confrontations with others. And if any of you have more questions, you can always follow me on Facebook. Let me show you my contact info. Sometimes you don't always need to say anything. You are right, Dabbling Speechy. Oh, thank you. Yes, I do have my interview tomorrow. Okay, here's how to find me. Again, I'm Queen Speech Rachel, and you can find me on facebook.com/queenspeech. And again, my show is every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I hope you guys can come. I hope you can come join me for tea again. I'll be trying to do this weekly. For now, I'm only committing to every other week. So again, 4:30 on Tuesdays. Join me for tea. I haven't even had a sip of it yet, so I'm going to take a sip of my tea. And thank you for listening and helping me prepare for my interview tomorrow. I will let you all know how it goes. It's a good experience no matter what. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye.